so we're going to talk about how to turn through the ball, or more particularly, how I turn through the golf ball and the feelings that I have. Now, first of all, the question would be, why do you need to turn through the golf ball? And the answer would be because the less that you turn through the ball, the more you have to use your hands and arms. And a good telling sign of this would be if you start to notice in the through swing, if your club face looks like it's sort of rolling over, or if the club shaft itself starts to finish quite vertically, this would generally be a sign that you're not moving through the golf ball as good as you could, and therefore you're having to do more forearm rotation to square the face. What I'm saying, that there always will be a blend of having to use your hands and arms to square the face, but if you can turn through the ball, you will definitely feel like you're using them much less. Now, there's two things that you need to understand about this. The first one is chest rotation, and that's why I'm going to use this pointer here. So what I've done is I've got this pierced through this little wedge, and it just helps me keep this alignment stick nice and sturdy, and plus you can hopefully understand that it's referencing where my chest, or if you like, the center line of my chest is. So golfers who struggle with rotation is because they don't get the feeling of turning the chest. And can you see the way that the pointer, it kind of moves around nicely towards my left in a very sort of simple arcing fashion. So golfers who tend to direct the chest more this way will obviously have more of a tendency to stand up. And then equally, golfers who try and do chest rotation but they don't move their weight to the left will create this sort of shape, which is when you get over the top. So what you're trying to do is two things. You're trying to move your chest so it moves more down and to the left as the pointer is demonstrating, like so. Simultaneously, whilst you're doing that, you're trying to get the weight in towards the left side. And if you do that, what you should start to notice is, one, you'll start to feel the weight pressure. So it's not this and it's not this. So you should start to notice that a lot of weight starts to move underneath that lead foot, particularly if you like towards that sort of heel side of it. But the second thing that you'll notice as well is when you start to turn correctly, you'll notice the way that your right shoulder will have a tendency to stop. So I'm just going to remove that for a moment so you can see this way. Okay, see my right shoulder is starting to come down, because a lot of golfers tend to think, oh, I'll drop my shoulder down like this. No, your shoulder comes down as a byproduct of your chest. So the more my chest points towards the target, the more my shoulder will come around, therefore the more it will inevitably drop. Now, going back to the pointer now, what you're looking for, okay, is when you are moving your chest, you'll simultaneously need to release your right arm. Now, what I mean by this is what happens with some golfers is they start to move really good in the downswing. But if you imagine that I swing back and the relationship between my upper and lower arm is 90 degrees, if I keep that angle, see the way the club starts to come too steep. So what has to happen is simultaneously, as you are turning, you need to make sure that your arm is straightening, like so. And what that does is that starts to get that club coming down onto the back of the golf ball. So it is really important that you understand that if you are somebody who has no rotation through the ball and you've had a tendency of pulling down the club, it's not just as simple as turning. You're going to have to turn and straighten the arm simultaneously, okay, as you swing through. Now, what should happen, and a good sign, like I said earlier, is if you are turning nicely sort of through the golf ball, okay, you should notice the way you're able to produce a straight shot and see where the club is. See, my club has gone through the center line of my body and the club face looks like this. And a great way to start that is on your shorter shots, okay? So if I do a couple of little half swings here, I take it straight back and then see the way that the club finishes nicely to the left of my body, like so. And the feeling that you're ultimately looking for, if you want to practice this, is if you put that club through the center line of your chest, so it's similar to what we did with the pointer, straighten your arms, and if you are turning, your arms should stay straight. See where I am? If you don't turn, your arms will fold, and that's why a lot of amateurs look this way. So you need to exaggerate those two feelings. One is the chest moving down and to the left, okay, as you simultaneously straighten your arm. And it's the blend of both of those that will give you that ability to have that great exit. Work on it. I'll see you soon.